My wife suggested living apart together. Then her plan completely fell apart. I'm a 36-year-old man, and I never thought I'd be writing something like this. But my marriage took a turn so wild I had to share it. I've been married to Anne, 33, for nearly 8 years. We've been together for a decade and have 2 beautiful daughters, ages 7 and 5. We were your classic suburban family: house, kids, careers, dog. I work in construction management, and Anne has a good corporate job. Life wasn't glamorous, but it was stable. We had our arguments, her Amazon splurges, my muddy work boots in the living room, but nothing serious. At least, that's what I thought. The shift. Looking back, there were signs. Anne had been different lately, lighter, happier, more focused on work. She'd always vented about the office, but recently it was all praise, especially for her boss, Jim. At first, it was small things. Jim had a great idea today, or Jim gave me great feedback, harmless stuff, but then it turned into quotes about leadership, admiration for his philosophies. I once joked, "Sounds like Jim's your work husband," and she froze, forced a laugh. "He's just a great mentor," she said. But something felt off. The bombshell one night, as I was watching a YouTube video on fixing the garage, Anne walked in looking like she was rehearsing a speech. "I think we should try living apart, together," she said. I blinked. "Living what?" "You know, still married, just not living in the same place. It's a thing." My brain stalled. That morning had been totally normal. Breakfast, kids off to school, goodbye kiss. No tension, no warning. Now she's suggesting we split households like we're doing some experimental relationship hack? Turns out, Anne had been influenced by her new yoga friend, Pat, a 4-time divorcee who now markets herself as a modern relationship expert. According to Anne, living apart together was the future of marriage, a way for individuals to grow. Apparently, it works wonders in Europe. Great. We live in Ohio. I tried to be mature about it. I asked if something was wrong, if I had failed her. She just kept repeating vague self-help buzzwords about personal growth and space. Taking notes. Literally. After a night of stress-eating Halloween candy and doom-scrolling articles about lat relationships, I decided to play along. I opened a spreadsheet and approached the situation like a business proposal. Next morning, I sat her down. "Okay, if we're doing this, let's map it out. Custody, finances, housing, everything." Anne looked stunned. I don't think she expected logistics, just vibes. I asked about custody schedules, holidays, bills, dog rotation, lawyer involvement. "Oh, I thought we'd just figure it out as we go," she said. That's when I told her my cousin Kate, a family lawyer, offered me free legal help at Christmas. Anne's face dropped. She mentioned some lawyer Pat recommended. Of course. Then I dropped my 3 a.m. spreadsheet, projected costs of maintaining. 2 households, from rent to groceries, even dating expenses, real-life stuff. Anne looked like she'd just realized freedom had a price tag. When I asked where she planned to move, she mentioned the Oak Valley apartments. Far from the kids' school, 1 bedrooms, no playgrounds. It made no sense, unless it wasn't really about the kids. Connecting the dots that set off alarms. Why Oak Valley? I called in a favor. A buddy of mine has a sister who works at Oak Valley's leasing office. A little digging revealed that Jim, Anne's boss, lives there. Interesting. Then things got weirder. When I brought up setting up the kids' rooms at her place, she got cagey. "Maybe they should stay with you for now," she said. Really? She was okay seeing her kids less, for space? That's when I contacted Anne's sister, Liz. We've always gotten along. Maybe too well. She once joked, "If my sister hadn't gotten to you first." Anyway, Liz was floored by the living apart news. But she had her own puzzle, pieces to add. Anne had recently been asking her weird questions. when it's okay to date after separation, whether dating coworkers is taboo, and, wait for it, Jim's schedule and relationship status. It was obvious now. Anne was trying to create space not for herself, but for Jim. Flipping the script, I didn't confront her. Not yet. I wanted to play it smart. Next morning, I casually mentioned I was looking at apartments, too, near Liz's neighborhood, the opposite direction from Oak Valley. Anne's face tightened. That's too far. It's not fair to the kids. Oh, now she cares about fairness. Later that day, I overheard her on the phone. I think this will be good for us. Gives me time to reset. I think Tom will come around. Come around to having his wife ditch their family for her boss? I was seeing red. The final straw, I dropped my own bomb. While we were planning more lat logistics, I casually asked, should I cancel the Florida tickets or just change the names? Anne blinked. What Florida tickets? I told her I had booked a surprise anniversary trip, beachfront hotel, 7 days. I'd arranged for her parents to watch the kids. She went pale, then furious, then quiet. She didn't see it coming because she never planned on still being with me when our anniversary rolled around. That was the moment her perfect plan collapsed. This story is ongoing, but I'll tell you this. I'm no longer playing by Anne's script. She wanted independence and space. She's about to get it. In legal, logistical, and financial terms she never accounted for. When my wife planned a secret life without us, I gave her a one-way ticket to reality. At 1424, it was just confusion on her face. At 1426, a weird cocktail of hope and panic hit her, like a kid realizing they're going to Disney World, but also remembering they're grounded. You planned a Florida trip for us? She whispered. Well, I planned it for us when we were still in us, I said. But since you want to try this living apart together thing, I figured you might want to take someone else. The tickets are paid for, non-refundable. Would be a shame to waste them. She started backpedaling so fast I thought she might actually start moonwalking. Maybe we should wait on the whole living apart thing, she said. We could use the trip to reconnect. That's when I dropped the second bomb. Actually, I already had your ticket changed to be transferable. You can take whoever you want. Maybe Jim would enjoy a beach vacation. Color drained from her face. Ghost white. She stammered something about how Jim was just a coworker and asked why I'd even suggest that. I shrugged. Well, since you're planning to move into his apartment complex, I figured you two must be close. Then I got up to grab more coffee, like I hadn't just nuked our entire marriage. She followed me around the kitchen, panicked, trying to explain how I'd gotten it all wrong. Oak Valley was just a nice complex. Jim living there? Total coincidence. Then she dropped. How do you even know Jim lives there? Have you been checking up on me? I looked at her and said, interesting that you're more concerned about how I know where Jim lives than the fact you were planning to move in near him without telling me. She didn't say anything. Just stood there, eyes watering, ready to break, and then stormed out. After the Florida tickets bomb, I thought maybe Anne would come clean. Silly me. Instead, she sprinted into damage control mode. Not the kind where you fix things, but the kind where you gaslight everyone into thinking you're the victim. She called Pat. Of course. 3-hour call. I could hear Anne sobbing through the wall, crying about how I was emotionally manipulating her by checks notes, exposing her plan to abandon her kids and move near her boss. The mental gymnastics, Olympic level. But then came the plot twist. My work buddy Dave, his sister works at Oak Valley. Turns out Jim's not exactly squeaky clean either. According to the front desk gossip mill, Jim's been bragging to his office. Buddy's about some hot mom from accounting who's totally into him. Guess who works in accounting? Even better. Jim has a girlfriend, a serious girlfriend, as in ring shopping serious. And she has no idea Anne's been planning to move. into their complex. And here's where Cousin Kate, the lawyer, stepped in like a champ. She pulled a copy of Anne's rental application. Know what Anne listed as her status? Single. Not married. Not separated. Single. And guess who she put as her emergency contact? Not me. Not our kids. Jim. Meanwhile, Anne's trying to play both sides. Let's work on our marriage, she says, while texting Jim on her iPad, still using our anniversary as the password. Then Liz texted me. Just a quick supportive check-in. Hope you're hanging in there. Let me know if you need to talk. Anne saw it and lost it. Anne. Why is my sister texting you? Me. Because unlike some people, she actually cares about her family. She flipped out. Accused me of scheming with Liz. Accused us of planning this whole thing. Then she just broke. Collapsed to the floor, crying, "You're going to leave me for Liz, aren't you?" I leaned against the counter. You're sitting there crying over me, potentially leaving you for your sister, which isn't happening, while you were literally planning to move in near your married boss. She sobbed about how Jim made her feel seen, and I cut her off. Don't. If you're about to say your married boss made you feel special while I was raising our kids and supporting our family, I swear to God. She crumbled. I never meant to hurt you. Or the girls. Oh God, the girls. That's the thing, Anne. You did mean to hurt us. Not consciously, maybe, but every choice you made, the separate apartment, the living apart talk, Jim as your emergency contact, those were all choices. Choices you made knowing they'd cut your family out. I stayed at Liz's for 3 days after that. Spare room, just needed space. Kate wanted us to get our ducks in a row. We set up a family meeting at Anne's parents' place. Neutral, ground. They deserved to know why their grandkids' lives were about to change. Anne tried to skip it, said she was too emotional. I told her to show up, or Kate would start the divorce without her. She came. Kate laid everything on the table. The rental application, screenshots of texts from Anne's iPad, bank transfers to a separate account. Anne's mom cried. Her dad went silent. Then we got to the custody plan. I want joint custody, Anne whispered. Her dad laughed, not kindly. Joint custody? After you tried to move into a one-bedroom and listed your boss as your emergency contact instead of your kid's father? Then her mom, gentlest woman I've ever met, shouted, If you mention Pat one more time, Kate stepped in. Given the evidence of attempted abandonment and emotional instability, we'd be pushing for primary custody for me, supervised visits for Anne. Anne broke. 2 months later, the divorce was final. Anne moved back in with her parents. Jim? Oh, that blew up spectacularly. Jim's girlfriend found out everything. Showed up at Anne's work with printed screenshots. HR got involved. Anne and Jim were both fired. As for Pat, she's moved to Florida, apparently to find herself. Fitting, and remember those Florida tickets? Turns out Anne wasn't entirely wrong to worry about me and Liz. Not back then. But now? Yeah. We're dating. It wasn't planned. But it feels right. She's always loved the girls. She's always been there. And honestly, after Anne's self-implosion, realizing I had feelings for someone who actually shows up, who cares? It felt like coming up for air after drowning. Anne found out. DEFCON 1 meltdown, screamed betrayal. Tried using it in court. Kate shut it down instantly. Not quite the same as moving in with your married boss while pretending to. Be single, she said. The girls are thriving. I've got primary custody. Anne's working on herself, finally in real therapy, not Pat's Prosecco and Problems Hour. Liz and I are taking things slow, but the kids love having her around. More. Her parents, they come over for Sunday dinner. Every week. They adjusted. I think they're just grateful their grandkids have stability again. Anne still calls sometimes, leaves voicemails, says she's changed, realizes what she lost. I forward those to Kate for the custody file. Then I take Liz and the girls out for ice cream, because sometimes the trash takes itself out.